I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Well, I'm back in the saddle again. Now, I've said before, with paid requests, it will be a review, it could be a re-review, reaction, topic, randomness, out of the blueness. I've seen this film before. I think I got this DVD long ago with a bunch of Steven Seagal films for curiosity, because I like the guy's early work, and I've seen this film before. It's a pile of donkey piss. It's still a pile of donkey piss. If I pissed in it, it would only be more merit to it. It definitely would not stink any worse than it does now. Now, I've mentioned before, I like Steven Seagal's early work. Out for Justice is my favorite, but classics, Above the Law, Marked for Death, Under Siege, yes, I even liked The Glimmer Man. I even liked Fire Down Below, was considered some of his lesser theatrical films. I enjoy those quite a bit, sincerely. But then when he gets his direct-to-video work, there are a few exceptions, Urban Justice, Pistol Whipped, Into the Sun, but 98% of his films are the bottom-of-the-barrel, garbage, dumpster fire action films in the direct-to-video market. They are the bottom of the barrel. They truly are. Because you have a guy who is the epitome of not giving a fuck. Not giving a... Van Damme, even in the films I don't like in recent years, Van Damme, I can see him trying. He just doesn't have the right script or direction, or yes, some of his Van Damme's fault as well. But when I look at Van Damme himself, I'm not seeing laziness from himself. Because I look at Jean-Claude Van Damme's direct-to-video work. There's some really fun ones. The Shepherd Border Patrol, The Order, Replicant, stuff where he's trying to stretch his acting, like JCVD, Replicant. He's playing a serial killer as well as a clone. Until Death. He plays a cop who's addicted to drugs. He gets almost killed, but he gets out of it. He wants to be a better person. Stuff that he's trying for. Enemies Within. Enemies Closer. Not Enemies Within. Enemies Closer. He's playing a killer who is a bit jovial and fun, and he's a vegan, and that's what the best part of Enemies Closer is. Van Damme's fun performance. I see him trying. Seagal doesn't try anymore. He'll come in whenever he feels like it. He'll be late to many stories out there where he takes his time and he's late for, everyone's waiting for him to shoot. He just takes his time, waddles around like the fucking fat penguin he is. And yes, I'm not pristine shape, but I will call him fat because he's fucking fat. And he's a fat fuck. I don't respect him. I respected the old Seagal that did his job well for what he had to do. Maybe not as a human being from what I've heard, but as an action star, yes. Now, it's either he's using doubles or there's parts where it's his voice, but at times it's not his voice. He's too fucking lazy coming to dub it his own voice, or it's using fight doubles. Here, you can't even say that because he's barely in the fucking film. He's in the film, if you combine it, total 20 minutes maybe. Even though he's right there front and center. And despite it looking like a Blade ripoff with vampires, this is a movie that doesn't know if it wants to be about vampires or wants to be about fucking zombies or about fucking mutants. It doesn't know. It keeps calling them vampires, but they act like zombies, but someone goes, they keep calling them vampires, but they're mutants. I'm like, no, they're fucking zombies. Now, I don't know if it's to be believed, but on IMDb Trivia it says, oh, it was supposed to be zombies, but Seagal's like, no zombies, no zombies, so then they changed it to vampires. I don't know if that's true or someone just made it up on IMDb, but it would make sense. So instead, you did a movie, oh, Steven Seagal, and a horror film. Could be cool. But it's direct-to-video Steven Seagal. So, where his fucking haircut is a goddamn V. Fucking V. Maybe it's for Viagra. And Seagal, with his fucking overdrawn coat, his 2 guts, his 3 chins, his fucking card for KFC, his other card for McD's. I can say that because he did a film called Black Dawn, where literally on the dashboard is a bunch of fucking McDonald's food. And empty, too. Don't believe me? Watch Black Dawn, more like Black Yawn. And some of this horrible shit like Kill Switch, Attack Force, End of a Gun, Contract to Kill, The Person, not the good one with Jess Beam, but the shitty one. Again and again and again, Sniper Special Ops. Now, I know it's like 7 minutes in. This is Seagal with 3 other hunters. Once in a while, we see them wander around to try to kill something. It's mainly about this group of people that you don't give a shit about, that you have no reason to give a shit about, wandering around a hospital, because apparently this hospital is as big as fucking Texas. It's the biggest fucking hospital. And even though they keep saying, we're in a hurry, we need to get to this place because it will shut down if the power is out, and the lights are even flickering, but it's such a fucking rush that they decide to walk as slowly as fucking possible through this fucking hospital because they need to get to this one part, so they need to wander and waddle as slowly as they can, then slowly as they can. No one's in a fucking rush. You ever heard of something called running? No, they all decide to take their sweet ass time, because again, any normal hospital, it would take you 5 minutes or less to get through, at least from point A to point B, maybe 5 minutes to go point A to point B down. Not here. They walk for like hours and hours. They even say, I swear at one point they said they got 4 hours. It's going to take you 4 hours to go through one hospital? Is this how big is this hospital? Must be bigger than the Mall of fucking America. But this is a movie that's so fucking stupid that you're stupid to not know what the word infect means. Because at the beginning of the film, they literally take the time to go, hey, dumb fuck, do you know what infect means? Infect means, here's a description, but this description literally lasts 2 seconds. Like, hey, this is, nope, too bad. Okay, I couldn't even read the sentence in my mind fast enough before you moved on. Why did he even have it there in the first place? Now, more than likely one would blame the writer, but I looked up info. Matthew Klickstein, apparently he sold the screenplay. It was titled Last Night. His script was a character-centric story of what it would be like to experience the last days of humanity in a ravaged world. The script was bought, and then it was rewritten and turned into a fucking Steven Seagal film that he's barely in. And apparently he had no input. He wasn't on set. They didn't ask him to be on set. Maybe he met Seagal one time, maybe. And then later he saw the film and went, holy shit. And that's the thing. We don't know until an interview, and it's like a written interview. Of course it's easy to blame the writer, because it's like, who else can you blame? Okay, I swear, I thought it said Richard Crud. It's Richard Crudo. But it might as well be Richard Crud. Richard Crudo, I think he was like kind of a famous cinematographer. Maybe I'm wrong, but fuck, let him to direct this if that's the case. One of the producers is Steven Seagal. He even put his name on producer on this. Well. So, but we can't know as a viewer as to who is and isn't to blame unless someone comes out with it. So yeah, a lot of times a writer will be like, hey, I didn't write that shit. They took my idea. They rewrote the whole fucking thing, but they gave me credit because either they didn't want to get the blame, or hey, I got a credit, so maybe I'll get some money out of it. Nothing I can do about it. So you gotta play the Hollywood game. So that's how it goes. So while we're with this group of like 6 people wandering around doing the dumbest shit possible, like the little girl, there's literally a moment in this hospital that has infected people, vampires, whatever the fuck they're supposed to be, because they say vampires, but they don't act like fucking vampires. This little girl in the middle of the hallway decides to get down, get a pillow, and go to bed. And they've seen these guys come out of the woodwork. And she just sits down and is like, I'm going to go to bed here. Fuck. And then once in a blue moon, it cuts to Seagal with 3 people. 2 girls that never say a word, never fight, never do anything, but just stand and walk. Seagal, when he fights, he has a sword and he does this. This is Seagal. This is the 20 minutes, 18 of those minutes is this. Or standing around. And then at the end, once in a while, he does one of these and someone goes through a wall. One of these, someone goes through a window. But it's mostly this. Like, literally, there's a scene I could do the same fucking thing. Like, with this. I could literally do, like... Now, just edit that together, and boom, you got the same fucking performance. Action-wise. Not even talking about acting-wise, talk about action-wise. And there's a lot of inept shit in this. For example... They save this kid, and after this flashy fight that you can barely see shit. Then Seagal, out of the blue, is talking to someone, I don't even know who. He just looked over here and he goes, we're not here to decide who's right or wrong. We're here to decide who lives and who dies. Who the fuck are you talking about? Who the fuck are you talking to? And why the fuck are you saying it? Do you save a boy and you go, we're not here to decide who's right and wrong. We're here to decide who lives and who dies. Where did that come about? Did you have a conversation in your head? with yourself? Did you talk to your ass like one of your fucking songs from your fucking CD? Yes, he did a CD, Steven Fat Fuck Seagal, and one of the songs is called Talk to My Ass. So maybe he was having a telephone call with his fucking ass, but we didn't see the other end of that conversation. So go back and talk to your ass while you're in Russia, Seagal, because I'm tired of your shit. Because you did great work, in my opinion, back in the day. But the fact that you treated so many people like shit, you never apologized. At least Van Damme and others have apologized. You've never apologized for your behavior. And then, you don't even create good shit for the past 20 fucking years. Again, on one hand, maybe Into the Sun, Pistol Whip, Urban, like, films are okay. The rest of the 50 or whatever the fuck many are the bottom-of-the-barrel worst shit. Like Sniper Special Ops, Attack Force. I dare people to watch these movies. And I mentioned there were 4. Seagal, the 2 ladies that do nothing, that never attack, that never fight, that never talk, that have no lines of dialogue. Why are they there? I have no idea. And then the 4th guy is Tanao Reed. He is the cousin of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and he also doubles him. He doubles The Rock in films like Skyscraper and others. He did the best he could. He actually does try to have fight scenes. If there's any amount of goodness, he's trying. There's a bit where he fights some, he blows some up with a grenade, he shoots a big guy, you ain't so big now. It's not much, but he's trying. Like, this is a guy that's like, hey, you know what, I'm the cousin of The Rock, and, you know, I get to do something. I'm gonna do it. But he can't save it, and he's barely in it because he's with Seagal. And most of these films, you would want to follow the hunters as they're on their journey to go to this hospital and maybe rescue some people. No, instead they flip it, and most of you're with the people to be saved who are boring as fuck. And these 6 people, one's a little girl, one's a fucking stoner, or he likes drugs, it's not just marijuana. I can't tell you a fucking thing about the others. Some of them are girls, some of them are guys. One, I think, is religious. And we need to reach the sub-level before the generator fails and the lights are flickering. So let's walk fucking slowly and take our fucking time. And by the way, these survivors are so smart, they never pick up a fucking weapon. Especially even when they've been attacked. No one thinks of picking up a fucking... It's a hospital. I think there'd be something called sharp implements in a fucking hospital. Surgical tools, knives, sharp sticks, anything. Maybe a fire axe. No. Because they're too fucking stupid. I'm surprised they're smart enough to know how to breathe. They go walk a bunch of people, dead bodies hanging upside down. The movie states you get infected because of the blood and saliva. So here's a bunch of dead bodies bleeding all over the place. Let's not even try to cover our fucking faces. I'm going to go between them. And luckily none of them got infected somehow. And then once in a while, you go to another group of people in a military camp, and you get Lyndon Ashby and Keith David. Now, who are those? Lyndon Ashby played Johnny Cage in the 1995 Mortal Kombat. Keith David worked with Roddy Piper on They Live. He was Childs and John Carpenter's The Thing. 2 solid actors. Lyndon Ashby, underrated, wish he did more. Keith David, solid actor. Anybody could play these parts. And they're trying. But all they have for dialogue is Lyndon Ashby goes, you can't bomb the place. There may be people there. I know there are hunters there. They're sweeping the area. Keith David, no, we gotta bomb that place. I want that place sanitized. No, wait, but there may be survivors. Nope, I need that place sanitized because if they come out, they could infect other people. Well, they're survivors. Yeah, but I need to bomb the place. But they're survivors. I need to bomb the place. It's the same conversation over and over again. It's a waste of these two actors' fucking times. You literally could have made a better movie if it was Lyndon Ashby and Keith David having actual conversations about the zombie apocalypse while in this military camp and zombies are trying to get in from the woodwork. And have these two actors work with each other? I would rather see that fucking movie than this. But no. So, two actors, they're good, but they're fucking wasted, and they did nothing to do and nothing much to say worth a shit. The editing at times is piss poor. I swear to God, there's a bit where, because it does a lot of flashy editing. A lot of flashy editing. To the point, it uses slow motion. And there's a way to do that right. John Woo knows how to do that right. This is doing it wrong. It's just flashy. Like there's a moment where it almost fast forwards the camera to get to a trash can where there's an arm inside it. And when it does that or slow-mo, it's not doing it legitimately. It's doing it like, oh shit, after the fact. Because you have to actually prep a camera to do certain things. It's like, oh, is there a way to speed it up? Is there a way to slow it down? No, they do it after the fact, so it looks even more shitty. Or it looks shitty, shittier, shittiest. And just a lot of flashy stuff all over, as if they knew their movie was so boring. They think a bunch of flash stuff will make people not pay enough attention. And you did a boring attempt at trying to develop the characters. Again, the movie itself doesn't even know if they're fucking vampires. Like, they're vampires, but none of them act like vampires. And even because they're eating guts like zombies would in any zombie movie you could think of. Oh, but then there's other times they just do want the blood. And then sometimes some want to file their teeth. Some are brain dead. Some talk and pontificate. So it's like whatever fucking random shit they do. One zombie could kill the little girl but is like petting her for some reason, while others don't. So are you going to get the zombies ready to pet you, or the zombies like... Let's throw some random doctor guy that looks like Tommy Wiseau's brother. The guy kind of did look like Tommy Wiseau from The Room. And grabs one of the survivors, ties him down because he wants to feed him to this girl who's, I think, his daughter. Then Seagal comes in. He pulls out a shotgun, like, out of his ass. And the way they frame Seagal, you could tell Seagal did not interact with a lot of these actors. It's like, there's Seagal, he comes in, and then he leaves. And even then, like that scene, Seagal looks at the guy and goes, I'm the motherfucker that's going to do to you what you've been doing to everybody else. You just got there, Seagal. You don't know what the fuck's going on. You don't know who that person is. For all you know, that person could be a good guy, and that person could be bad. You don't know what the fuck's going on. What do you mean, do to you what you've been doing to everybody? You don't know what the guy's been doing because you never talked to the guy. You don't know what's going on. You just arrived there. But it's like... maybe there was stuff that was supposed to be in there and was cut out. I don't know. And these characters, again, they just keep doing consistently stupid things. Like, they go into a bathroom and they decide not to look at the stalls. Lo and behold, a zombie busts out of the stall after the two terrorists had like a 5-minute conversation and they almost die. And just a lot of these people wandering around, wander. Oh, they get attacked, wander, they attacked, wander. No one ever gets any fucking weapons, knives, sharp sticks. And then once in a while, Seagal and then slice his sword, and not even slicing his sword in a cool way, like cuts a head off, cuts an arm off. No, you barely see shit. Like, you don't even have Seagal, or he's got a sword. Have him like, here's a split it in two like a watermelon, cut a head off, cut an arm off, stab through and go out. Like, no, can't do any of that. So again, the hunters get to the hospital, they wander around, Seagal pops up whenever the fuck he wants to. The other guy, the Dwayne the Rock Johnson's cousin, who's again and also a stunt double, he does more of the work than Seagal. The two girls with that team, they do nothing. They stand around and they get killed. Running, a little bit of fighting. Some survivors. There's a little boy standing there looking like a fucking zombie, not saying a word. So then the girl's so smart, puts her hand near his mouth. Oh, how's it going, boy? Good, you deserve to die for being a moron. You get a little bit of fighting. Seagal, The Rock's cousin, the 3 or so survivors left, they run off while this big explosion happens. I swear there's some scenes taken from other movies. Like, there's a bunch of people running to an airplane, fighter jets. I swear that was from Air Force One. I could be wrong though, but some scenes are taken from Air Force One, the Harrison Ford film, but I can't confirm that. But and like when the explosion happens, I'm like, this explosion is from another movie, but I can't quite put my finger on it. I know it's not from this movie because the movie's too fucking cheap. And then it cuts to them outside, and then they're in the middle of the fucking woods. Pans out, and you have like this shed. I'm like, where the fuck is all this in conjunction with the hospital that apparently the entire fucking thing blew up? But apparently it only incinerated the hospital, not from the sound of it, a bunch of fucking city blocks that seem like Keith David built it up as. As soon as they get out of the hospital, they're safe. Even though apparently the explosion, they seem like, nope. So then the 3 survivors drive off. Seagal and the other, well, probably Seagal's double and the Rock's cousin, they walk off and the movie's over. So at the end of the day, people who wanted to see this, hey, Seagal in a horror film, sure. No, he's barely in it. When he's in it, he don't give a fuck about. He's barely in scenes with other actors. You can tell they just probably shot him for a couple days. Do this, do this, do this. They will plug you in, Seagal. Once in a while, he's in a scene with another actor. You fire, we'll cut to the zombie getting hit. Vampire, whatever the fuck. There's another piece of editing, I swear, during a fight. They're in a room, then for 2 seconds you see a zombie in the hallway from another scene, and then goes back to the room. Like, there's some really bad editing in this. Seagal, if you want to see Seagal do a lot of this. Zombies who are also vampires, or vampires that act like zombies. Oh, but they're mutants, whatever the fuck they are. Characters you don't give a shit about. Action scenes you don't give a shit about. A movie you don't give a shit about. This girl does more in this picture than in the movie. That's one of the 4 girls. That's all she does is stand around and die. So, again, a boring plot. A bunch of people wander around about a hospital. We need to get to this before you're in a time crunch, but we don't move like molasses. Once in a blue moon, Seagal does this. And then Rock's cousin, you do all the work. And it's flat out boring. It's a boring fucking movie. So I don't know what else to say. Against the dark, against common sense, against the dark of my ass where this belongs. Why I never threw it away, I don't know. Because I bought the fucking thing. What? Oh wow, I'm gonna get a whole, what, $1? It ain't worth going to the fucking mailbox to get $1 for this. I'm like, well, I'll just keep it here in case a day like this happens. Maybe one day someone request a commentary. I don't know. Shouldn't have said that. I jinxed myself. Oh God, what's that? Someone request commentaries on all Seagal's films. Well, he did like 80 of them, so it'd be a shitload of money. So, Seagal don't give a fuck. So why should I give a fuck? So with that said, we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.